Say we're sorry.
All right, we're sorry for the delay. Welcome to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We want to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be a part of this great facility, the Center for Academic and Athletic Excellence. We're at the half where Carver leads Northside 7-6. Northside had the ball for majority of that first quarter, 10 minutes, and they were driving and could not capitalize. And really, the story of this game has been ball control by both teams. So a great job by Northside hanging in there. And we'll see what adjustments Coach Orpeza makes in the second half. As that game is up at Kinnett Stadium, as Noah Shelton and Austin Allen on the call on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we're going to go ahead and go around the Chattahoochee Valley. Over at Memorial Stadium, the oldest rivalry in Columbus. The Columbus Blue Devils leading the Jordan Red Jackets 35-0. Columbus 2-0 on the season. Jordan has not won a game since 2020, but it has been all Columbus in this as they're trying to go to 3-0 before they have to face Carver next week. All right, looking at some of the other games from around the area down at Otis Spencer Stadium, we've got Sumter County leading Kendrick 28-0. And then some of the other scores that are coming in, we want to thank everybody that's given us the score updates. Just keep them coming. We have an unofficial score as down in Damascus, Southwest Georgia Academy leading Brookstone 8-0. We'll try to get a score update on that game. And then we also have Calvary Christian up in Woodbury taking on the Flint River Academy Wildcats. We'll try to get a score update in that. My producer Thrift is saying we got a score update. What you got?
Got an update. We actually got someone else joining us. We're going to have Columbus and Jordan joining us right now.
All right. We want to thank the audience that we have seen Columbus and Jordan at the half. The Columbus Blue Devils lead the Jordan Red Jackets 35-0. And it has just been all domination by Coach Peters' team that they are 2-0 on the season, trying to go to 3-0, taking on their rival. And isn't it fitting that they're at Memorial Stadium, the oldest rivalry in Columbus? These two schools have been around since the early 1900s. Columbus has been around since 1890. Jordan's been around since like 1904. And I don't know how many times these two teams have played, but it's always special when these two teams play. And it's also Columbus's homecoming, by the way. Memorial Stadium, couldn't think of a better venue for the oldest rivalry in Columbus. And they are at the half. Down at Otis Spencer Stadium, yeah, we got 3 high school football games in Columbus for the public schools going on right now. And it is Sumter County leading the Kendrick Cherokees 28-0 down at Otis Spencer Stadium. Sumter County 3-0 on the season. They're one of the top-ranked teams in 2A. Kendrick is 2-1. They did lose to Crawford County last week as they are facing their first region opponent. Also, some other games from around the area down in Damascus. Brookstone, who's 3-0 on the season, taking on Southwest Georgia Academy. They are currently trailing right now by a score of 8-0, as we'll try to get some updates on this game, more updates for you. And then we also have the Calvary Christian Knights. It is currently scoreless, and we'll try to get a score update on this game as they are taking on the GIAA Division I Flint River Academy Wildcats. Calvary Christian 3-0 on the season after getting a convincing win over Tatnall 35-0 last week. Let's take a look at some Thursday action as Shaw picks up their first win of the season by defeating the Hardaway Hawks, their crosstown rival, 32-14. And then the game you saw on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, the Spencer Green Wave gets their first victory of the season. They were down 7-0 in this game to Manchester, and they scored 29 unanswered points to get the 29-7 win over Manchester. So congratulations to Coach Joe Kegler and the Spencer Green Wave. They will take on Jordan next week. We're at the half where the Carver Tigers are leading the Northside Patriots up at Kinnett Stadium 7-6. The story of this game has been ball control. Northside had the football to start. They drove the length of the field. It took 10 minutes, and they got stuffed, and then Carver scored a touchdown. Northside has been battling with Carver. Carver's going to get the football to start the second half, but Northside hanging with the undefeated Carver Tigers. We want to thank you and everybody watching us, and enjoy the second half. And we will go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got more scores here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We'll be right back after this.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. And I'm your host, Richard Holdridge. We want to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be here in this center, the Center for Academic and Athletic Excellence. I mean, they got conference rooms, coaches' rooms. They got an indoor practice facility. We're in the conference room right here. They've got film rooms, and they even have an outdoor area, the outside area for signing days and physicals and media days. So thank you to Roger Beck. We are currently at the half where the Carver Tigers lead the Northside Patriots 7-6. It has been a game of ball control. Northside had the football first. They drove the length of the field, took 10 minutes off the clock, but could not punch it in. So it's really been a back and forth game. Northside is holding their own. Remember, Carver gets the football, and Northside's trying to snap a two-game losing streak. Carver trying to go to 4-0. At Memorial Stadium, the oldest rivalry in Columbus, the Columbus Blue Devils leading the Jordan Red Jackets 35-0 as Columbus trying to go to 3-0 on the season. Jordan trying to pick up their first victory since 2020. Down at Otis Spencer Stadium, Sumter County leads the Kendrick Cherokees 28-0. And then let's take a look at some of the games that happened yesterday as the Shaw Raiders pick up their first victory of the season. They beat their crosstown rivals 34-14 at Kinnett Stadium. The game that you saw on Georgia Alabama Sports Live last night, Spencer gets their first victory of the season, beating Manchester 29-7, scoring 29 unanswered points en route to the victory. Let's bounce around the area. We got some teams that are on the road. The Brookstone Cougars, who are 4-0 on the season. Coach Ian Headley's bunch traveled down to Damascus, and they are currently leading Southwest Georgia Academy 14-8. Up in Childersburg, just about 2 hours away from the Swamp, the Glenwood Gators facing Childersburg, and they currently lead 6-0. Just underway, Russell County and Percy Julian. This game is on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll try to get a score update on this one as we will be joining you at the half for that game. And then checking out Smith Station at the Cramden Bowl. They are taking on Carver Montgomery, and that game is currently scoreless. We also have another game that's currently scoreless up in Woodbury, Georgia. The Calvary Christian Knights 3-0 on the season. Coach Brunson's bunch up in Woodbury, taking on the Flint River Academy Wildcats that are also 3-0. They are in the GIAA Class 1A, and Calvary trying to get a win as they have lost to Flint River their last two meetings in the last 2 years. So thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show. We're going to go ahead and send it back to you. Enjoy the second half. Thank you for watching.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go.
That's in Jordan.
Columbus and Jordan? Okay. Look at that. Terrence Flowers is up in Greenville. That's awesome. Love it.
Ready?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Hang on. All right, I'm ready. And good evening. Welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We want to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be in this facility, the Center for Academic and Athletic Excellence. We've got coaches' rooms, conference rooms, practice facilities, film rooms, and an area for media days and signing days and taking physicals. This is just a great, outstanding facility, and we want to thank Roger Beck once again. All right, we are at the half where the Northside Patriots and the Carver Tigers up at Kinnett Stadium. This is a home game for Northside, and they are holding their own against the undefeated Carver Tigers, one of the top teams in the state. Carver leads at the half 7-6. The story of this game has been ball control. Northside had the football first, a lot of runs from Jay Jackson, and Carver was able to get a stop, but Northside took 10 minutes off the clock, and they have just been trading blows back and forth. Carver's going to get the football to start the second half. Carver trying to go to 4-0, and Northside trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Over at Memorial Stadium, the oldest rivalry in Columbus. The Columbus Blue Devils trying to go to 3-0. They lead the Jordan Red Jackets 35-0. And Jordan trying to get their first victory for the first time since 2020. Down at Otis Spencer Stadium, the Sumter County Panthers coming in undefeated, one of the top teams in the region, taking on the Kendrick Cherokees. After losing last week, Kendrick's trying to get back into the win column, and they are losing right now 28-0 at Otis Spencer Stadium. Looking at some of the scores from outside of the area, Brookstone traveling on the road down in Damascus as Coach Ian Headley's bunch is 4-0, one of the top teams in the GIAA, taking on one of the top teams in 2A as they are leading Southwest Georgia Academy 14-8. It is early, but Glenwood is leading Childersburg 6-0. So those are your halftime scores. We will be joining you for the other later games. Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show, and we will send it back to you guys. Enjoy the second half, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Halftime Update Show. I am your host, Richard Holdridge, and we would like to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be here at the Beck Center, as we have just got fantastic games, fantastic finishes. We'll get to all of it, but the game that you are watching on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live as we are at the half, as Russell County, they are leading Percy Julian 49-0. They have had 3 defensive touchdowns in this game. Russell County trying to go to 4-0 on the season. All right, let's talk about some games that just went final. The Columbus Blue Devils, they defeat the Jordan Red Jackets earlier today, 49-6 to go to 3-0 on the season. Columbus will be taking on the Carver Tigers next week. Jordan will end up taking on Spencer. Let's talk about those Carver Tigers, because this was a 7-6 game at the half, and Carver was able to get the victory 31-12. They are 4-0, and then that showdown, Carver Columbus next week, both teams undefeated. Northside loses their 3rd straight game as they fall to 1-3. All right, let's take a look at the game at Otis Spencer Stadium as Sumter County defeated Kendrick 56-0. Sumter County is now 4-0 on the season. Kendrick falls to 2-2. And then we've got Brookstone in the 4th quarter leading Southwest Georgia Academy 35-14. A touchdown pass from Broughton Branch to Meacham Kelly as Brookstone trying to go to 5-0 on the season down in Damascus. Also, we've got the Calvary Christian Knights. It's the 4th quarter, and they are leading Flint River Academy 9-0. And that is really been a defensive struggle by both teams up in Woodbury, as Calvary trying to come up with the road victory to try to go to 4-0. At halftime, or the start of the 3rd quarter rather, and it is all Glenwood Gators up in Childersburg as they lead 35-0. And then let's swing it around over to the Cramden Bowl in Montgomery, where Carver Montgomery, they are now at the half, where Carver Montgomery leads Smith Station 26-0. Just trying to get an update on that game as I was watching it, just to make sure that that score is correct, and that is correct. It is 26-0 at the half as Carver Montgomery is leading. Let's go ahead and talk some Thursday night games as the Shaw Raiders pick up their first victory of the season, beating their crosstown rival up at Kinnett Stadium last night, 32-14 over the Hardaway Hawks. Shaw's got a big game next week against Sumter County, so looking forward to that. And then the Spencer Green Wave were able to get their first victory of the season. You saw that game on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live last night. Spencer scored 29 unanswered points to defeat Manchester 29-7. Manchester falls to 1-3. Spencer is 1-3 on the season. They will take on the Jordan Red Jackets next week. All right, so let's go ahead and swing it back to Kinnett Stadium, where the Carver Tigers 31-12. Big time runs by Jacoby Caslin, Kelston Popcorn Tarver, and Zach Watts. The big story in this game, the injury to Tristan Givens. Hopefully he'll be okay, but that made a big difference. Northside was able to run the football. They were able to move the football, and Travis Wakefield did a good job handing it off to Jay Jackson. You know, he's got the offense involved, and Northside was in this game. This was a 13-12 game, and Carver just ran the football, and the depth of the Carver Tigers really was the difference. They were able to run out the clock and get the victory. And they are now 4-0, getting ready for that showdown next week against Columbus. All right, the Columbus Blue Devils, it is a final. They defeat Jordan in the oldest rivalry in Columbus, 49-6 at Memorial Stadium. What a win for Coach Robert Peters and the Columbus Blue Devils that go to 3-0 on the season. And Jordan falls to 0-3. Over at Otis Spencer Stadium, we had Sumter County defeat Kendrick 56-0. And Sumter County is now 4-0 on the season. Kendrick falls to 2-2. And so the Kendrick Cherokees will actually take on Hardaway next week. So Kendrick trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They will be taking on the Hardaway Hawks. Trying to get a score update in that Brookstone game, taking on the AA team out of the GIAA, Georgia Southwest Academy. They are in the fourth quarter, and Brookstone does lead Southwest Georgia Academy 35-14. Brookstone is 4-0 on the season. So we'll try to get a score update on that. Calvary, start of the fourth quarter, leading Flint River. Now it is definitely got a score update now. It is now 16-7. So Calvary leading Flint River by a score of 16-7. That game is still going on. Glenwood Childersburg is about to go into the third quarter. Of course, the game that you're watching, Russell County leading Percy Julian 49-0. And one of the key things about this game was 3 defensive touchdowns for that Russell County defense. Incredible. And then finally, Glenwood going up on the road, leading Childersburg 35-0. We got a busy slate of games next week as Calvary Christian, hopefully they can get the win, go to 4-0. They're going to be hosting Southwest Georgia STEM Charter next week. Brookstone is going to be on the road taking on Stratford Academy. We've got Spencer. They are going to be taking on Jordan. Kendrick going to be taking on Hardaway. Columbus taking on Carver. Shaw is in Americus taking on Sumter County. Pacelli, who's on a bye this week, will travel to take on the GHSA opponent, Whitfield Academy. Harris County on a bye this week. They will be back up at Hamilton, Georgia. Danny Durham Field taking on Jonesboro. A rivalry back in the swamp, Beulah and Glenwood. This is definitely a rivalry of all rivalries now that Glenwood is in the AHSAA. Russell County goes on the road to Montgomery to take on Park Crossing. And Smith Station hosting Opelika at TC Britton Field, Panther Stadium. So we have a busy slate of games next week. This is week 5 in Georgia, week 4 in Alabama, and it has really been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. We'll keep you posted throughout the night, so stay tuned, and we'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have more score updates for you right here on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Halftime Update Show presented by the Beck Center.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Already.
Richard Holdridge at the Beck Center for the halftime highlight show. It's 49-0 Russell County at the half. We'll see you in a little while, everybody.
Oh. Yeah.
There you go.
Hang on.
3, 2.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We want to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be in this outstanding facility, the Center for Academic and Athletic Excellence. We've got coaches' offices. We're in the conference room right now. We've got practice fields, batting cages. We have a film room, and we have an area outside just for media days and signing days, and it's just a great place, and we want to thank Roger Beck for allowing us to be here. All right, we are at the half, and Russell County leading Percy Julian 49-0. The story of the night has been the 3 defensive touchdowns by Russell County. This is a team that's 3-0 that received some votes for the top 10 for the 6A classification in the Alabama Writers Association, and they're trying to just impress the sports writers in Alabama. What a contest against Percy Julian for their homecoming, by the way. All right, we do have some games that went final. The Carver Tigers able to get the victory over Northside. This game was a lot closer than expected.
Wow.
13-12, and then Carver ran away with it. 31-12, Carver goes to 4-0 on the season. They will take on Columbus next week. Northside falls to 1-3, and Northside just trying to regroup. I mean, they gave the effort in this game, and what a fantastic game. And Northside kept it close. All right, the oldest rivalry in Columbus, the Columbus Blue Devils were able to get the victory over Jordan, 49-6. Columbus goes to 3-0 on the season. Jordan falls to 0-3. And Kendrick, they fell to Sumter County 56-0. We want to thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. Enjoy the second half, and we're going to go ahead and send it back to Mike and Rex. Take it away, guys.